Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Soy Hawani. Now here's the reason why you'll regret not learning this verb sooner, especially if you're a beginner. Let me explain. Primero, this verb is extremely common and it's almost used exactly the same as how we use it in English. Segundo, you can use this verb to talk about future events or intentions, but using the exact same conjugations as we do in the present tense. Tercero, using this particular verb in the preterite past tense uses exactly the same conjugations as the verb ser in the preterite tense. Finalmente, the reason this is my favorite verb in Spanish is because when I first started learning, after the first year or so of learning Spanish, I was still struggling to put sentences together and I was actually doubting whether I could actually learn the language or not. However, after learning this verb more in depth, I quickly realized how much easier it was using this particular verb to actually construct basic sentences together. So I started constructing sentences a lot easier overall, and this actually gave me a lot more confidence and a lot more motivation to keep persisting with the language. And from that moment on is when I actually started to speak a lot more Spanish. And I quickly realized if I'd actually paid more attention to this particular verb, it would have saved me a lot more time, energy, and hassle overall. So learn from my mistake. The verb I'm talking about, of course, is the verb ir, to go. Stick around because we're going to go through the three most important uses of the verb ir in my opinion, which is talking about the present, future, and also preterite past tense. Over the next few minutes, we're going to go through this together, and then what I want you to do is after this, in your next conversation that you have in Spanish, I want you to try and utilize what we've used today into your next conversation. Alright, so let's jump into it. Vamos. First, the present tense. You can see here from the conjugations, yes, the verb is irregular in the present tense, but don't worry, you will learn these conjugations pretty quickly because it's so common. Let's jump into some basic examples. I go to the beach every day. Voy a la playa todos los días. So voy a la playa todos los días. Normally, I go to New Zealand once a year. Normalmente, voy a Nueva Zelanda una vez al año. So normalmente voy a Nueva Zelanda una vez al año. Alright, next up, let's try the tool form, talking about one of my favorite Italian foods. If you go to the restaurant, you have to try the pizza. Si vas al restaurante, tienes que probar la pizza. Si vas al restaurante, tienes que probar la pizza. So things should be starting to make sense now, but let me give you a few exercises just to test you. Translate these sentences for me. My mum goes to the supermarket every day. Cool, so you'd say, mi madre va al supermercado todos los días. So mi madre va al supermercado todos los días. Give you one more, nice and simple, this time using the nosotros form. Where are we going? Awesome, you'd say, ¿a dónde vamos? So, ¿a dónde vamos? So this one for me personally was a real game changer because you'll see how easy it is to construct sentences using this particular tense. So as I mentioned, we can use exactly the same conjugations as in the present tense. So we conjugate the verb ir in the present tense. I've used the your form in this particular example. Can you see how easy it is to construct basic sentences together? For example, I'm going to run, voy a correr. So voy a correr. I'm going to read, voy a leer. So voy a leer. I'm going to swim, voy a nadar. So voy a nadar. So before we jump into some examples, here are some useful words for you when describing things in the future. We've got esta noche, mañana, which you should know, la semana que viene, el mes que viene, or el año que viene. Let's make some sentences using these particular words. Por ejemplo, I'm going to do something tonight with my son. Voy a hacer algo con mi hijo esta noche. Voy a hacer algo con mi hijo esta noche. Another one, I'm going to go to Spain next year. Voy a ir a España el año que viene. So voy a ir a España el año que viene. Try another example, this time with the tú form. So let's make a question. What are you going to cook tomorrow? ¿Qué vas a cocinar mañana? So, ¿qué vas a cocinar mañana? I think you're starting to get it, but let me give you 2 exercises just to make sure. Translate these sentences for me. Are you going to go to the party tonight? Awesome. So you'd say, ¿vas a ir a la fiesta esta noche? So, ¿vas a ir a la fiesta esta noche? All right, let me give you one more. Next month, I'm going to study every night. You'd say, el mes que viene voy a estudiar todas las noches. El mes que viene voy a estudiar todas las noches. We're almost there. Last one, using the verb ir in the preterite past tense. So think of it in English when you want to say, I went somewhere, or he or she went over there. So we're expressing specific events that have happened in the past. So no surprise at all, guys. You can see from the conjugations here in the preterite tense, the verb ed is irregular again. So let's go through some examples. Last week, I went to the concert. La semana pasada fui al concierto. La semana pasada fui al concierto. All right, another one. Last year, we went to Mexico. El año pasado fuimos a México. So, el año pasado fuimos a México. As to finish off with, you know the drill. I'm going to give you a few more phrases and I want you to translate these for me. Where did you go last night? Awesome. So you'd say, ¿a dónde fuiste anoche? So, ¿a dónde fuiste anoche? Guys, that is all from me for today. So the verb ir, my favorite verb. Let me know how you guys are going with your Spanish as well. And if there's anything I can help with, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. But apart from that one, I'll see you next time. Hasta pronto.